Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, and I'm back today with episode number 21. And today is Friday, August 19th. I am a day late. My son was home yesterday sick, and so there was no way to film with all three kids here. And now, as you can tell from my nose, or from the sound, now I have the cold too. So I am going to try to get through the video without sneezing. I will pause it if I do have to, but hopefully I can get through and share. I didn't want to wait another week to share what I've been working on and answer some questions. So let's go ahead and get started. I decided to try things a little bit different. I did answer a lot of the questions people had or comments on the in the comments below on the last video, but I also wrote down a list of some questions that I thought might be better answered on the video. So I wanted to first start off by going over some of those questions and answering them for you guys, and then we'll get into my finishes and then my whips and all the regular stuff. So one of the first things is somebody was asking about a tutorial on the hem stitch. Because I had mentioned wanting to do that on one of my pieces, I am looking for a tutorial still, and once I find one, I can link it in the description of the video when I do the hem stitch, but I'll be sure to share that with you once I get done with my piece and complete that. How did I stitch on the bag? And I left the bag downstairs on accident, but one thing I wanted to say is this is another one of my mesh bags. Some of it I was able to take the bag and you can kind of bunch it up, and then when you lay it flat, it's fine. So I would bunch it up and then I would use my needle. And I did have a larger needle. I think I wrote that I used a size 22 needle, and the holes are pretty big. And I did I did the whole strand of the pearl cotton over 2 squares. So you're not trying to get little teeny tiny X's. They're pretty big. And then I'd bunch it up and I would stitch. And she was asking if I had, done it upside down, and I did. Some of the parts that I felt I did flip it upside down where the zipper was down, and I stitched it that way. So I hope that answers your question about stitching on the bag. I am going to work on the queen bee. I have to get the floss for that, and I'm going to stitch that on my green bag, and I can try to record some of that if I remember to when I'm stitching on that. And then another question was, what does my day look like? So as far as how do I get as much stitching done as I get done, sorry for sniffling. I normally stitch when my son is at school, which now he's at school all day long. My 2 daughters, they take a quiet time or nap time for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I am either picking up or I'm able to sit down and stitch during that time. Just kind of depends on the day. If I have laundry to do, I might do that then, and watch a show or Flosstube or listen to my book. I might also be doing the dishes. It kind of depends, but most of the time I try to use that hour and a half to 2 hours for like half the time doing house things and half the time stitching. So I know I have a break in the middle of the day. And stitching to me is my relaxation. It's kind of an unwinding, so it helps to calm me down after I've been doing stuff with them all morning. So that's one of the times I will stitch. And then also I stitch after they go to bed, which my son is the last to go to bed, and he goes to bed around 8, between 8 and 8:30. So it's normally between 8:30 and 9 when I can start stitching, and I'll stitch for 2 to 3 hours. So altogether in one day, I'm stitching about 4 hours, sometimes 5, but it's broken up. And then like everyone else, I get distracted with Instagram, or if I'm watching a floss tube and I want to write something down, I'll stop. So it's not like continuous in those amounts of times. Another thing that I find is that I do use the sewing method, and that seems to be quicker, in my opinion, than going in and out. Another way to be quicker that I have heard of and have seen people do, and then also talking with Chantel, is having a hoop on a stand and doing a two-handed method. I haven't tried that or know how to do that, but that's another way for quicker stitching. But like Lori Holt has said, it's not a race to get it done, even though I feel like a lot of times we put pressure on ourselves to get stitching done. It's not a race to get it done. So that's just kind of what my day looks like. Now, that's most days. On the weekend, it can be different. I don't really stitch more on the weekend. If anything, it's less because I'm tired from doing things all day with the kids. Like Saturday, we went to SeaWorld. I came home. I didn't stitch at all because I was so tired. So that's where kind of my unwinding of my whips and what I decided to work on kind of got out of whack this week. But that's just how my stitching days go. Then counting on linen, I typically will count. I take my needle underneath of the linen or even weave, or I even do this with Ada, and I stick it kind of up in the holes and I count that way, and I'll say 1 and 2 and 3, and the and is the hole I'm skipping, because on linen or even weave you're stitching over 2, unless you are, some people stitch over 1 on 25 count, so then you would count every single hole, but that's just a way to count on linen. All right, so the next question is, how do I know what I'm working on? I have a pretty good idea of what the whips are that I have started and going. Some of my older ones, I'm not 100% sure. I do want to go through them to figure out what I have, what I don't have, what I want to continue on, and then make some type of a master list. I do try to go through when I'm planning what I want to work on the next week or the next month and look through what I have and then pick from there. And that's pretty much my only whip organization that I have. I don't use an app to keep track of what I have or anything like that. It's just kind of memory. I know I have that. I don't have that. Now, that's not to say that I haven't bought charts more than one time, because that has happened as well. But I don't normally start something a second time. Excuse me. And then the next question, 2 more questions. One is, how do I decide to use DMC or fancy floss? Typically, I would like to use fancy floss for everything, but that's unrealistic for me at this point in my life. I have a lot of it, which you can see in my clear bins back there. I try to, if I don't have the called for fancy floss, I try to pull a color that's similar in order to use it. If I really just want to use the called for colors, and it's a large piece that doesn't have a ton of floss, or if it's a large piece that I know I want to keep for a long time, I will spend the money and buy the fancy floss. Otherwise, I will buy the DMC. Both look beautiful. There is one, and I'll show you in my whips, that a friend who watches, Susan, she had mentioned that she started it with the DMC. It looks beautiful. The colors are not the same as the fancy floss, which they say that whenever they the pattern makers create the pattern. They're finding the closest match to what they have chosen as in the Fancy Floss colors. So it's not going to be perfect. Hers is a lot brighter. And so I decided to use the Fancy Floss for this specific project, and I'll show you. But both of them look beautiful. So it kind of depends on your budget, what you like. I like DMC, and I also like the Fancy Floss. And I've done a few things in silk, and I like the silk too. I don't necessarily like one a lot more than the other. I think they all have their own speciality, or I don't know the right word, but they all get the job done basically. So choose whatever fits within your budget and what you like to stitch with. So that's my answer to that. And then the last question was, what kind of cardstock do I use? And I ordered this off of Amazon. It's called Nina cardstock. It's 90 pound weight, and it has 300 sheets. And this is the label. So if you're interested, I just order it off Amazon. It comes right to my house. It goes through my printer just as a regular printer, a regular paper, and I don't have any problems with it. I do find that it does, it's nicer to use that. And even some of the patterns that I get that are paper patterns, I will copy the page like as my working copy onto the cardstock so that it's stiffer and stands up better, because regular copy paper to me is a little bit flimsy, and I can't, unless you're sticking it on a metal board or in something, it's hard to keep upright. So that is the last question. So if anybody has more questions or wants to know anything, feel free to leave them in the comments. I am more than happy to answer questions at the beginning like this again. I try to answer people's questions individually, but a few of these it was kind of hard to answer the question typing it, so I figured I would say it on here. Oh, and one other thing. Well, it's a couple things. The stitching mat pattern is coming. I am working on it. There is a tutorial using a hoop and the sewing method. I'm working on that, and I am working on a whip parade. So all three of those things, I know I keep saying I'm working on, I am working on them. And in the coming weeks, they will be available to you guys. So look out for those, but I just wanted to address that on here to let you guys know. So to the stitching, which is what I know you guys are all here for. I have two finishes this week. This one was a whip from last year. It's Happy Halloween by Primrose Cottage. This was in their Sip and Stitch last year, which I was not able to get the Sip and Stitch this year, and I'm going to get the pattern for sure because it's very cute. But I had started this last year. I left it with one pumpkin to fill in. So all I had to do was fill in this one pumpkin and a little bit on this other orange one, and I was done. So I want to fully finish this. I used all the called for colors, and this is on 28 count Mushroom Lugana, and I love it. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to finish it on, but it is so cute. So this is my first finish, and I love that. And then my second finish was part of the JBW Ornament Sal with Annie from the Proper Stitcher, Stitchy Linda, and Chrissy, Finally a Farm Girl. And the design I chose is from this book, which Judy Whitman so generously sent this to me. And this is my finish. And it is called, let me look it up, Cornucopia Basket. And she doesn't have zoomed in picture. It's just the pattern. But I did change the colors a little bit. I stayed true to like where it was green. I did green, red, and pink. Sorry for all the sniffling. I took colors from Lori Holt's flea market flowers and used those because those are some of my favorite reds and pinks. But I'll list those below. And I am going to finish it either on this board, which is from April at Homestead Needleworks, which this is actually the board from the cookie exchange from last year with like a couple layers of fabric. Or I thought about maybe finishing it on this block, which is from Stitch Etc. So it's just a black block. And I know Chantel at 141 Design Company, she sells similar blocks now as well, as many other places do too. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm finishing this, but I will get this finished and the Halloween one finished this week, and I'll have those for you next week. So those were my two finishes. And then my whips this week, I kind of stuck to what I said I was going to do, but then I also kind of didn't because, like I said, on Saturday, we went to SeaWorld, and then I was tired, and then I felt like I got behind, so, sorry. So this is what I have. I picked up, this is a freebie, I'll link it below, or the group. It's the Common Threaded Stitcher freebie, and this is the chart. This is all stitched up. I am using all the called for colors. I just have a small start from yesterday. The chart is by Hello from Liz Matthews. And I am stitching this on 28 count flax. And here is, have thread still stuck in here. Here is my small start on that. I decided to start with the outside border, and then I'll go and fill in, but that was the most counting that needed to be done to kind of start it off, was this outside border, and so I felt like that's where I would start. But you can go on, and I've posted a couple things so far about Common Threaded Stitcher, and you can go on to their Instagram, and I'll link it below, and it gives more information about what it is and how you can get involved too. The next one was, let's see, I have the Haunted House from Chantel 141 Design Company, and I was trying to figure out what to put on it, and I decided to pull out this book from Brenda Gervais, and I am going to, or I started stitching, let's see, I had this from my, the smalls from Mania, so I already had everything together, but I'm stitching this little witch. I think I'm going to buy a real, like, play broom to put in her hand. I haven't decided that completely, and I don't know if I'm going to stitch the spider web or put like a wood piece in. I haven't quite decided. But I just have a small start on this. It's still in the hoop because I was working on it. And this is on 36 count, what is it called? Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm using kind of called for colors, kind of my own. So that's my start. But I want to get this done so I can paint the haunted house and put it in the haunted house. And then, let's see. I was working on Be Ye Thankful by Brenda Gervais, another With Thy Needle and Thread. I love this one so much. And again, it's in the hoop because I was working on it. But let me take it out, and I'm going to talk about this hoop too. Chris from the Camping Stitcher, she, along with other people, had recommended these, and after she said it, I was like, okay, I'll go try it out. This is the plastic Nurge hoop. This is the number 2. I ordered this from Amazon. It's the perfect size to either this way or this way to get in. And they have larger ones also. And I believe they come in pink and blue. But it's like the perfect size. It holds the fabric so well. It's awesome. Excuse me. All right, this is where I am. Last night, I was able to finish out the word, get the house outlined, the roof, and then work on outlining the vase. And my plan was to work on some fill-in today on the house. I really want to get this done so I can move on to another fall piece and or some other Halloween pieces. But I kind of felt like I needed to get something else done before I moved on to working on something else. All right, I have 2 more things. The next is, this is the one that Susan from Paper Girl NC was helping me with. This is Elizabeth Hunter. I showed this last week. Let me get the picture. By the Scarlett house. And it was like a day before my son's birthday. His birthday was on Wednesday. I was like, I got the threads in from Fat Quarter Strip. I'm like, I just really want to start this. Not that I needed to start anything else, but I just felt like it. So I said, okay, whatever, I'll start. I had everything to start it. So this is Elizabeth Hunter. It's so pretty. So she had used the DMC and it looks beautiful. It does, however, look much brighter than the picture. So I decided to order the Weeks Dye Works. I ordered it from Fat Quarter Shop. It came super quick. And I already had a fabric I wanted to use. So I went ahead and started it. This is 36 count chai. And it's actually really enjoyable to stitch on and to, I feel like I got a decent amount done. So the only thing I don't like about it is that every 2 letters is a different color. So I kept having to change colors. That's why I ended up getting to doing some of the border where it was the same color. But I really like this and I want to get back to this for sure in the next week. And here's the colors. Oh, and this is another thing. This is kind of part of haul. This is a thread keep and it came on this little cool thing, so I just put it on there. It's by Tina Egner. It's so cute. This is the thread keep. And then it had this, it was attached to this thing, and I got another one too, I'll show you. But this is the colors. So they're definitely muted, which is what I like about the pattern. And this is a sampler that Tanya from the Scarlett house reproduced, and it actually belongs to Brenda from Brenda and Laura, or Brenda and the Serial Starter. All right. All right. My next whip is in this beautiful project keeper I got yesterday from Carrie with Tiger Lily Designs. It's so pretty, and coral is one of my favorite colors, so that's what drew me to this with the vintage stitching. And in this also came yesterday, and I could not resist starting because I went back and forth to get this or not. I'm like, I don't need another project, but I saw Laura show it in person on her Flosstube, and the colors were so pretty. So I decided I was gonna order it. It's coming from Canada, so the conversion actually works in our favor. This is, excuse me, Suckle Manor is the book, and then, excuse me, goodness gracious. These are the 2 charts that they made conversions for. And they used, this is from Evertote, I think I said that. They used Leo and Roxy linen and floss and converted this, and it is so pretty. So I just have a small start. I could not resist starting this yesterday, and I really want, I'm working on this one over here, which is Margaret Harris. Sorry, this one. And this is how far I got. This is a fabric, a 36 count by Leo and Roxy. And again, it's in my hoop because I was working on it still. Make sure it's showing in the video. These are the colors for that. They are so pretty. This like reddish pink color is so vibrant. And I have been, the other reason I wanted to order it was I have been hearing a lot about Leo and Roxy floss and fabric, and I really wanted to try it. And I felt like this was a good way to try something. It was already converted and kitted together. You bought the whole thing. You can also just buy the floss or the floss and the fabric. So if you already have this chart or this book, you don't have to buy the book also. I didn't have the book. So I bought everything together, but you can just buy one part. But I thought it was a good way to try the fabric and floss with the pattern that I wanted to stitch. So that was my last whip for this week. And then my haul, of course I forgot to write down their name, but I was on Instagram, which is a dangerous place many days. And I saw somebody posting about Victoria Clayton silks and how they have conversions for most all of the Blackbird Design charts into the silks. And they have a lot of other conversions as well. And you can always email them and they will be happy to make a conversion for you. So the one I saw was a Heart Remembers. And I already had this book. And I have yet to stitch anything from it. This is the chart. And what got me is I saw this person, and I will try to put their name down here because of course I forget. They started stitching it and it was beautiful. These are the colors. I'm going to try to hold them all together. These are the colors. They're so pretty. And I'm trying to decide which color I want to do it on. I'm either going to do it on this, which is 36 count antique rose. I don't know if I can hold it up all together or not. Bah. You have to hold them sideways. This is one choice. Antique rose. Or this is 36 count popover by LFA Linens, which I love this color. I'm kind of leaning towards this just because this red, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So I really want to stitch this, and I'm thinking I'm going to put my paternal grandmother's initials on this because she was one who I get a lot of my creativity from, and she was always doing creative things with me, braiding hair, painting, different things. So I want to start personalizing some of my pieces if I can get anything finished, and the larger pieces. So I thought this would be really pretty, and there's a place to put initials in here. And she has since passed away, so that's why I thought this would be the perfect piece. Another piece from this book that I want to do that I probably can use some of those from is this, which is Wildflower Guide. I love that piece so much. So that was, the haul was just getting these. I already had the other stuff, but when I saw that middle rose, I was like, oh, that is very pretty. So I would like to start that in the next couple weeks, maybe in September. But it's really pretty. And I don't Any of these larger pieces, I have no timetable of getting them done. I just want to get them done sometime. I am kind of feeling like I have a lot of stuff started, which I do, and I would like to start kind of coming back to things and getting some things having more progress on them and finishing. So I'm still playing around with what I want to do for September, for Sampler September, doing some smalls, some samplers. I can't really decide, or just pick one piece and try to like get most of it done. So I haven't quite decided on that yet. But so that was a big piece of haul. Then the chart I started yesterday was also in Stitching with Friends. Christy, Fiona, and Anna are doing a stitch along in September, Spooktacular September. And this is one of the charts that they're stitching on, and I loved it. So I ordered this from Primrose Cottage. It is a Bent Creek chart. So I want to work on this, which is why I kind of want to get some of the other fall pieces done before I start that. This was from Treehouse Fiber Arts. This is a kit with the chart and the floss. I just thought that was really cute, pretty. Busy Bee. I've seen this a couple places, and it comes with all the floss. So all I have to do is find some fabric in my stash. Then this I saw on, I think it was on Brenda and Laura, but I love this so much. This is called October's Party by Little House Needleworks, and it has a cute poem. I ordered this from 123 Stitch, and I just clicked to get all the floss because I loved how it was. And here is all the stuff. Oops. And I really want to do this for, I don't know if I can get it done. It's all text pretty much, so I might, but I really like this. It's called October's Party, and again, I ordered all of it from 123 Stitch. It was easy, click, and it's at my house, which is dangerous sometimes, most of the time. All right, let me get that together. Then, let's see. That I already showed. I think that's giveaways. All right, two things. Here we go. I knew there was something else. This is another super cute little house pattern. This was from Fat Quarter Shop, but that is so cute. And it started in a Belle Soie, and I think I want to get the Belle Soie carrot cake to do it in, because it would be fun to stitch it in the silk. And then this is from, I cannot remember the shop now. I will look it up. This is this little teeny tray. It's so cute. And I have in my tray, I put my pin cushion, my little Ort jar, some pins, and some scissors. And then I just pull this out of my bigger basket and set it down next to me, and I have all my stuff sitting right there while I'm stitching. So I love this, and I'll link the shop below. I can't remember what it's called now, the shop, but I'll put a link for this in the, oh, here we go. I knew I saved it on purpose, the little tag. The Old Needleshop. So it's really cute, and they had some other ones, and it's funny because I did not expect it to be this small. I expected it to be a little bit bigger, but it's actually the perfect size to sit on the couch next to you with your little things in them. And if you had, like, when I use these little silks, I probably will put them in one of the photo containers, but you could put them in your tray and they wouldn't be rolling away, and you could pull from your silk. But I just love that. So that is all my haul for this week. And really just continuing to work for my plans, work through my calendar that I have. My daughter starts school on Monday, so she's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it'll be another adjustment of timing and all that. But it's all good, and feel like I'm finally going to have some time to do the tutorials and do the stuff that I want to do to grow the channel. So that is for that. So let's go ahead and go over the giveaways, and then I will let you guys go. So, and sorry again for all the sniffling. From last week, 2 people I did not hear from were for Colonial Blooms, Susan Lusk, you won, and Debbie Morin, or Moran, I think it's Morin, Morin. You had won Give Greatly by Silver Creek. So if you can get in touch with me, I will give you 1 more week, and then I'll put those back in the drawing. My email address is below. It's sweetwaterstitcher@gmail.com. Just type your name, what you won, your address, and I'll get that in the mail to you guys. So thank you for commenting and entering. So the giveaways for this week, for number 1, which was Home for Christmas, the winner is Brooke Sellers. Brooke Sellers, congratulations. And number 2 was Diamond Pumpkin. The winner is Pat Stockmeyer. Pat Stockmeyer. Number 3 was the Calendar Cubby, and the winner is Michelle Barnett. Michelle Barnett. Number 4 was Eye of the Newt, and the winner is Dana Lake. Dana Lake. Number 5 was the Jackrabbit, and the winner is Ms. Laura Judd. Ms. Laura Judd. And the last was the Fabric, and the winner is Christine Garner. Christine Garner. So if you guys can let me know that you have won, and I'll get that in the mail to you as soon as possible. I try to get everything out at least by the next video. So everything has gone out from last week before I do the video today or whenever it is. So for this week, I thought we would give away some JBW charts. She sent me some extras, and I thought I would share some of them with you guys. The hashtag for the SAL is hashtag JBW Ornament SAL. So I have 3 of those to give away today. Let me go over the giveaway things first. First, like and subscribe to my channel. Like the video, subscribe. You need to be over 18, live in the U.S. or have a U.S. address, and then comment below. And what I want you to comment is, what was the question I thought about? Oh, what is your favorite fall activity? As we're getting out of summer and we're getting into fall, what is your favorite thing to do in the fall? I live in Florida. We don't really have fall, but fall is my favorite season. But I love to go to the pumpkin patch. I love to do all that stuff with my kids. It's fun. Last year we went and then we carved a pumpkin. That was entertaining. My dad ended up having to help us carve out the pumpkin because my husband was out of town. But the kids thought the inside was slimy and gross, and that was funny. But that was a fun time with them. So I just like to do pumpkin anything fall really, even though it's 100 degrees here still. But that's what I like about fall. So tell me what you like about fall. And then use the numbers that I give for the giveaways. So number 1 is the 12 Days of Christmas, and this is book number 1. That's number 1. Number 2 is Sing a Song of Christmas 5, I believe. Or X, I think that's. And then Little Green Sleds is number 3. And then, let's see. Let me dig into my bin down here. All right, here's a good one. This is number 4, and this will be the last one. This is Blackbird Designs Angus Platt Strawberry Sampler, and this was gifted by a viewer. So this is number 4, and this has some great things. This is one that I want to get done. I just saw Ginger Shoal finished it. It's so pretty, but this is number 4. So again, answer the question, what do you like to do in fall, and then use the numbers to enter the giveaway. And that's all I have for you guys today. So I hope you have a great weekend, a great week, and I will see you next week. I should be back on Thursday, if not on Friday, but I hope you guys have a lot of stitching time and have a good week. Bye!